Hi, welcome everyone. How are you? Let's give everybody a chance to come on in. All right, so let me share. Okay, let's see. Share. How's everybody doing out there today? Did you guys not sleep like me? I don't think nobody slept last night. Media group. Resend. Okay, so Shelly's trying to come on. Let's send her. Copy the clipboard. Email. I'm back. Sorry, guys. I had to send Shelly the email. Mail delivery. Why didn't go through? It said it didn't go. King Simple. Hold on. Let me try this. Copy. Hey, do you know how to do Messenger? You know how to check your Facebook inbox? Or no? I don't. No? I can check it, but I don't really have it. No, you just click on the link. If I send it to your Messenger, you just click on the link. I'm going to send it and see. Because for some reason, it was not letting me send to your email. Let me try. Shelly. All right, let me. It's a different link. All right. Yeah, you see your messenger? Do you see check your messenger? It did. You see it? Click on it. Letting you in? Okay. Coming to the studio like yesterday. Oh, okay. I see you. Okay. Hello.
How are you?
Okay. Like my little setup. We have to do this for Eastern New York 3rd. So when you okay, so now and I'm just gonna, this is so informal. So this is our post-election day watch party, and we have so much, oh my gosh, to cover tonight. So whenever you start a live stream, you're supposed to give people a chance to come in,
That's fine.
and greet the people, whatever, and share. And so I'm just going to, let me see, share to here and okay, and then I'm gonna tag you. Okay. So what are you getting feedback? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I want to start this off tonight off with, let me see if this email came through in my Gmail. It didn't send me the link. Hold on, let me try it. Let me see. Let me try to come in through your link. It's interesting. It won't let me come in through my phone either. Let me see. Okay, so I am enter studio. Okay, so before we start, I want us to. Okay, I want us to watch this video.
Okay.
So let me get it. And I want your thoughts on this video. So let's do this. Let me add that to the stream. I'm going to mute you. I'm going to mute me. I have to turn this around. Okay. Can you see this? All right.
Almost 500,000 votes. North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And so we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list. Okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment. And we will win this. And as far as I'm concerned, we already have. So I just want to
There's a simple passive income business that
Okay.
Yeah. Well, quite frankly, I mean, it can't be a surprise to anyone. He's been setting us up for months that this is how he's going to behave. I mean, we already knew that. We already know that he is like a little kid in a sandbox who can't have his way, and and he just acts like a snot-nosed little brat. We already know. We see the lines, driving by the gun shop. Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I don't know what day it was. All the days are foggy right now, but the lines are wrapping around the corner for these guys to get guns and ammunition.
Right.
This is very, very serious.
Right.
The man is a psychopath, and it's an embarrassment to the country would be him, and so, but nobody can really be surprised by it. Right. We were absolutely expecting.
It's not formal. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not formal.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so I mean, I feel the same way. I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, even with the latest claims, and I had to actually write them down so that I could like repeat them now. About him wanting to take the lawsuits now that he claims on file. He wanted to recount in Wisconsin, and then he's suing Pennsylvania and Michigan and Georgia. I guess because they're still counting votes.
Right. I mean, and like I told you last night in New York State, the law is set up so that absentee ballots are not even counted until 7 days after the election because they need to check the names. And they haven't they open one envelope because, of course, when you send the absentee ballot, you put it in one envelope, you sign it, and then you put it in another envelope.
Right.
So they open the outer envelope and timestamp them. That's the procedure. You open that envelope, you timestamp them.
Right. Okay.
But then you don't open that second envelope until 7 days after the election. So, I mean, we already knew that. And so did he and his advisors. Every single state sets up their own election laws.
Okay.
So he wants to sue a Supreme Court that he stacked already. And I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. And to me, what he's doing is treasonous, because he's trying to make it seem like, I've never seen this kind of indictment against a country that you're supposed to be serving, So, but again, it's no surprise.
Right. What about the mail-in ballots that won't get counted?
Every ballot should be counted. Every ballot should be counted.
Right.
And as I forestated, they already know what the rules of every state is.
Right.
And so now the ballots that came in late, I mean, if there's any such thing, typically you go by postmark.
Okay.
So if they were postmarked by yesterday, again, all states have different rules and regulations, but if it's postmarked by election day, those ballots should be counted. That's another reason for waiting the 7 days so that everything is in and you're not counting anything piecemeal. You start counting those ballots all at one time. You don't bring any additional ones in.
Right. Because that's how I'm wondering. I'm like, how are they finding out so quick? Because they definitely, like, we just voted yesterday. So, and now we know out of all of those people that did early voting and all of the mail-in ballots, we already know the answers.
Well, the answers are an educated estimate. You know what I mean? I mean, like, for instance, Long Island is big Trump fans, right?
Yes.
So I know he took Long Island before, and he'll take Long Island again.
Mm-hmm.
But New York City,
isn't. Right.
And so they're looking at all the votes that have come in and what is still out. Okay. And based on the numbers that they have, New York State was a Democratic country. I mean, state.
Right. Because New York was quick in saying...
as these numbers come in, it's based on that.
Right. Okay.
A guesstimate of what, because what they're really looking at are how many of these absentee ballots are Democratic and how many are Republican. The lion's share of the absentee ballots are Democrat, which they fight. That's a big part of the voter suppression.
Okay.
Trying to get that,
Right. Okay. So let me see. What else did I send you today? Oh, okay. Compare the election. Can we compare this election to the Bush-Gore election at all? I mean, I know Gore ended up, waving the white flag, but you think this was kind of similar, or?
I don't really see it as being similar because the personality types are not similar.
Okay.
This man is a psychopath.
Right. Right.
And so he's an extremist.
Right.
And so he's not going to handle anything in the same manner as a normal thinking, rational person would.
Right.
You know,
Are you surprised that yesterday went kind of smoothly though? People had their businesses boarded up and or do you think it's still too early to say
I
that?
think that his what do you call those boys? Whatever
Yeah.
those.
Oh
Whatever
yeah, the tough boys, the young bloods, or something.
whatever they call them, they're going to be the ones that are unlawful and unruly. Boarding up your stores. Typically, if we look at history, they came in and they just shot people, innocent people, women and children included, and burned down communities. If we look at any of those massacres that happen as a result of elections, that's what they do. And any clips that you see, I have one up on ENY3's page.
Okay. You do. Let's look at it. Let me see. It's on there now.
It's on there now. And it's about 2.5 minutes, but it's amazing to me. And they're on TV telling the news,
right,
what their plan is, what their arsenal plan is, and how everything is built out, and they're ready for a civil war, and it's
so they're not hiding at all.
No.
Is it the origin of everything? Is it that one or no?
I don't remember. Let me look too.
Okay.
But it's in. If you go to the videos in that box, it's there.
Yeah, which one though? Because you got a couple. Is it the one with the white guys with the? You got. Oh, okay. You got one of you, okay, and then you got one of them with the guns. Is that the one you're talking about? With the guns. Okay,
that's it.
All right, so let me try this. Okay, let me bring myself back up.
But I just think that we need to be alert and aware. We don't have the guns, and we just don't have it to fight back in that magnitude. But they do. They're prepared for war. And they're still stockpiling stuff. The lines, like I said, are still wrapped around the corners.
Okay, so let's look at the video first, and then sorry, mute me. Oh, it's not that one. It's this one, right? Where is it? Sorry. Okay.
Preparing a fleet of off-road vehicles deep in the Virginia woods. These are preparations for a new American battleground. People ready, they say, to fight if Donald Trump goes down.
Because there's a lot of patriots that love that man, including myself.
John won't give his last name, but he's free with his opinions. He says America could be on the point of a second civil war.
If they try to steal the election from Donald Trump, that's going to be basically the trigger point.
He's preparing a fleet of off-road vehicles.
There's some thoughts about possibly mounting a gun on this.
Do you ever see the movie Mad Max?
Oh yeah, my favorite.
But this is no entertainment. In a series of safes, John has an Aladdin's cave of military-style weapons.
You've got a lot of semi-automatics.
Among the least of the weaponry is a style rifle, standard issue for Australian troops.
The FBI says applications for federal firearms background checks are running at record levels, more than 30 million Americans so far this year, and the run on ammunition is so strong that where shops still have bullets, they're rationing them.
The NRA gun lobby jokes on Twitter that gun owners dance like Donald Trump when gun stores get new supplies. But John has been stockpiling for 20 years.
If there's ever a need that fellow patriots need ammunition, I have it.
He'll supply guns as well, he says, to patriots willing to take on
Anyone that tries to destroy the Constitution and our rights, that's who.
And who do you think that might be?
You know, right now looks like the left and the liberals.
and he says they will be easy meat.
We have a big head start on somebody who's just getting into the field.
Intriguingly, John says he voted for Barack Obama in 2008, but those sympathies are long gone.
Complete with a Confederate flag, sure. The American flag is being washed right now. It got dirty.
John's 17-year-old son Sam is convinced Trump will not stand down if he loses the vote.
I think if it's rigged, he's not going to step down, and I don't think people are going to put up with it if they force him to.
Trump patriots are ready. Hugh Remington for 10 News First, Shenandoah, Virginia. Deep in the Virginia woods.
You're still muted.
Leave this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Very interesting. And they're not timid about it, and very, upfront, like, show the Black Lives Matters flag, and that's
Right. When I see that video, first thing that comes to my mind, this is not 1932, and we not scared of that. Like, we not scared of that, and I think that they are the minority, even though they're out front. Just being in the military, because I'm a U.S. Army veteran, America, when it comes to stuff like that, really is nothing to play with. And I know people, if you aren't in the military, you may not know that side of the country, but I personally don't think that that part of America would even put up with that. Like, I think, like, I hear what they're saying, but I'm just like, yeah, okay. So when you come, you really think that, like, the powers that be are gonna I just don't think that the powers that be, because those aren't the powers that be. Like you said, those are extremists. Just,
Yeah,
that's just what I think.
we'll see what is a civil war. In a civil war, you have an opportunity to decide whose side you're going to be on, just because you're on the U.S. military.
Right. This is why I think people are so surprised that the race is so close, and a lot of people thought Trump was just going to win, because this country is not all white anymore. A lot of these white families have black kids, and so it's different now. And even though, look, he just voted for Barack Obama, now all of a sudden you voting for Trump. Who you gonna be voting? Who you gonna vote for next year? Like, you can already tell that
But they're unstable. That's the point.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I just think that things are just different now. And the Civil War that was before, it ain't gonna be like, if it was one, it's not gonna be like that one.
Okay.
I don't think.
I just think that on an individual basis, and when you have a lot of lunatics like that, that could be somebody living next door to you. You don't know who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Trump has empowered that lunacy.
Right.
He's empowered it.
Right.
So a lot of people, civilians who are not military trained,
right,
who happen to live in a community like Hempstead,
right,
they would target Hempstead and just come and start shooting.
You think so? Because the terrorists, I ain't never seen the terrorists going to the projects. They went to a lot of places, but I ain't even seen one.
We're talking about some crazy white boys.
Right.
They've gone into different communities and burnt them down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that we need to stay aware, be alert, and watch what we're doing, because these people are really out of control.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely think that, of course, you have to keep your eyes open and be alert. I don't think right now, well, to me, the Trump supporters ain't been that much in hiding lately. I don't think they really care that you know who they are right now.
And in Long Island, we are way over,
right.
Long Island supported Trump. I live in Long Island, so my point of reference is where I am.
Yeah, they actually just had a Trump parade going from all the way out to Montauk. It was like from Hampton Bays all the way to Montauk.
It was miles long.
Yeah, it was
miles long.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, and when you read some of the comments, and you see how ignorant these people are.
Very disrespectful, very rude, and not nice. I just came home. I was like, let me go home and go in the house, because But so what do you project? So what is the latest? What do you project is going to happen with the presidency?
Right now, all indications is, if it's done properly, Biden won.
Right.
Period. I mean, because they're guesstimating based on the actual election day results, but they haven't counted the absentee ballots, and all projections indicate that most of those ballots are Democratic.
Right. Yeah.
That's not even including the Republicans that went on the other side.
Right.
And there always are some, So I think for the most part, we have a new president.
Right. And so how do you think our current president is going to handle that? I guess he just told us. He just let us know.
Yeah, like the babbling big baby.
So let's talk a little bit about the local polls. What's the scoop? I know I saw the losses and the wins on TV.
Yeah.
How are we handling that?
Okay, so in where I live, for instance, the 18th Assembly District, Taylor took it.
Yeah, she did. Why do you think so?
Because we're naive and we still don't know how to read a ballot. And when we vote all the way.
Right.
It's certainly not because of any works that she did.
Right.
Just that it's a naive, because if you notice, the Democratic Party didn't give her anything.
Right.
She had no campaign literature. I didn't get a single piece of mail to my home.
Right.
Nothing. But it is the 18th is a Democratic bloc.
Okay.
And so it is what it is. What we have to do is just keep talking about, strategies in voting.
Right. Yeah. Do you have to live in the 18th district to run for that type of position, or can you live anywhere and run for it?
Oh, no. Your assembly people, as well as your state senators, as well as your congressional people, they all live in a carved out area, so you have to live in that area to run for that seat. Okay. Of course, there are assembly people all over the state, but they all have, I believe it's 19 assembly districts. It's 19 or 21, but in those assembly, they all have their own area.
Oh, okay.
So you definitely have to live in the 18th to run for the 18th.
So she is 2 years, right?
Those seats are 2 years.
Yeah. So that means that we got to get somebody now.
It has to be, and see, that's the thing. We have to stop playing catch up. You can't 2 months before, 4 months before decide you want to run.
Right.
Right now, we need to be
pick somebody,
and raising the funds to run somebody effectively.
Right.
We need to be running for the committee seats. If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, you have the same way they have the districts broken down, for your towns and your counties and your state positions.
Mm-hmm.
Have areas, blocks broken down for committee seats
Right.
for the Democratic Party. So when you hear things like, I wanted to primary this person and the party wouldn't let me. When you hear things like that, we're absent again from the table. So what do we have to do? And I think that has to be a focus for us, and it has to be a priority. What do we have to do to run for these committee seats and take those seats? That's your basic ground level, what goes on in the party, right? And be more engaged. I'm not a party person, and so there's a lot of learning in that area that I really need to do. I've never been engaged in that whole process and going to those meetings and sitting on those committees and all those that type of thing. I've never done that.
So every time you ran, you ran as a write-in?
No.
Oh, okay.
The very first time I ran for any office, I really was trying to get my sister to run for mayor in the community that we live. Okay. And so I made a deal with her that I'd run for the school board if she ran for mayor. Of course, the school board election was getting ready to come up, and the mayoral election wouldn't be for another year or two. And she said, "Oh, really? Okay." I didn't think I had a chance because it was like the what do you have to get the signatures, right? The petitions were due in I guess maybe 3 or 4 days when I said this. So, look, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a team. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would have had a chance. But I'm just trying to get my sister to commit to running for that seat. And that night we're sitting there and the numbers are coming in and I got more votes than everybody. Wow. And I was just like, I was numb. I couldn't move. It's like, how did that happen? That's not supposed to happen, It's just, but people want change, they want. So no, I mean, I've run and been on the ballot. If my name is on the ballot, I do well, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Running as a write-in is a very difficult thing to do.
Right.
People have won running as write-ins, but it's very unusual.
Right. Yeah.
Not impossible.
The mayor out here in Southampton, he ran as a write-in the first time, and then I think the next time he ran, it's a party and run.
Yeah, because your name is not there, and you have to do a lot of walking and a lot of knocking on doors and a lot of talking to people, and it is very, it's a lot of work. So it's not, like I said, it's not impossible, but it is difficult.
Okay. Well, we're not going to stay on long. We just wanted to come on and discuss. Of course, we don't have a president yet. So, but we are projecting, just like CNN who it will be. And so where do we go from here? What are we going to be looking for? No more clarion calls. Like what are we doing now? Social action.
Well, the main thing we have to do is build a team.
Okay.
It's so much work, and social action ministry, to me, is not just the politics. That's a big part of it, but that's not the end all. I'm looking at our efforts this go round, but by it just being me, can you imagine if we had representation in every community where Church of God in Christ is represented in Eastern?
Right.
And so we've got to be able, now we have a model for this piece. We've got to be able to replicate that in other communities and grow, and so the training piece, I have to finish the curriculum, but I've just been so stretched and not really able to do that. But we really need to, I have the materials that I want to use. And now with this electronic platform, it will be much easier to do the classes. And especially now since the school is already doing it, via this platform, it might be really easier for me to do, because, when you have churches up in Rochester and churches as far out as Montauk,
Right.
it's difficult to get people to come together for 8 weeks to
Right.
complete a curriculum. But I, looking, I've already started ordering materials. I have materials in my home already.
Okay.
Of course, we need the Constitution. There's a segment on the Constitution where everybody's required to read it more than once.
Maybe you can add it to MKWW. It could be like a intensive 8-week course.
Yeah, well, let's do the course first and then see if we're ready for MKWW, But for now, I wanted to use Stacey Abrams' book for the grassroots component of the training.
Okay.
And then we're going to use Eyes on the Prize for the civil rights component of the training, And so I already know the materials we're going to use.
Okay.
It's just a matter of pulling that together so that everybody can be on the same page, So once we get that training done,
okay,
and then of course there's a lot of people outside of the Church of God in Christ that was interested as well.
Okay. Right.
And then there'll be workshops and stuff for our young people that may not want to sit through that
Okay.
course, but other workshops, and then we have to look at the economic arm of our disenfranchisement.
Right.
Look at those disparities, because when you look at the disparities in the data for our community and compared to those other communities, we've got to address that, and we've got to figure out ways to do it. So we, and then there's basic stuff like your quality of life and our homes and building out CDAs,
Mm-hmm.
community development arms of the church, so that we can help people get the repairs that they need to maintain their properties.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of contractors within our churches, and if we can organize that so that, maybe a 4-month plan is we're focusing on roofs, and
Mm-hmm. Right, that's good.
Materials we need to get, and how many people in the church need that, and what kind of financing they need to get that done, and how do we use these businesses that we already have in our network,
Right.
So organizing things like that, because it's a lot of us that have homes that are in dire need of repairs, but we just don't have the resources.
Right.
So we have to look as a collective as to how we can make that work and be as economically feasible as possible for the client, and then help Black businesses build out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's so many things that ENY3 has to look at and address, so that we can, and look, I didn't even mention education, the educational component. But for social action ministry, we are looking at our communities and the disparities,
Mm-hmm.
and how we address those disparities. So that's politically, economically, educationally, socially. How do we address those things in a spiritual, godly way,
Mm-hmm.
So that we can live our lives in abundance.
Right.
That
Okay.
was already promised to us,
Right.
But it's just the strategies that we need.
Okay. So I'm going to end on this. What election should we be preparing for next?
Okay, well, in Long Island, statewide, the next elections are in March, and those are for local municipality mayors and trustees, right? So in March, we're going to be focused on that.
Okay.
May are your school board elections,
Mm-hmm.
so in May, we're going to be focused on that. I think that this week we need to be meeting, and we need to already have these charts, because we know in another 2 years, the state Senate and the state assembly, we're going to need those people.
Right.
I think the DA in another 3 years, we need a DA. We need to be looking now at who we want to run for DA and start raising those funds. And so we've got to look at all of the calendars. We've got to clearly understand what's coming up.
Okay.
And internally, we've got to build out, people that we want to support, we want to run. And of course, to do that, we have to have resources to line up with the strategies.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got a lot of work to do.
We do have a tremendous amount of work to do, and we need you.
Right.
If you those of you that, I know the pandemic has affected the way we do church, but the church work still has to be done.
So how can they reach you if they're interested in, being a part of the team, or what is a good way for them to contact you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm right now, all I have is my cell or my email.
Email. Let's do email.
So my email is D like David, S like Shelley, Braisley, B as in boy, R-A, Z as in zebra, L-E-Y, @yahoo.com. And if you just reach out to me that way. Also, we have a Facebook page, which is ENY3, Eastern New York 3rd is what that's for. ENY3 Social Action Ministry, COGIC. And that's how you can find us on Facebook, and just check us out. We have, like that video, if you want to look at that again, that's up there. And then we have some of the workshops that we did. We might need to put some of these, post some of these, Lydia, on that page too. And so you can reach us that way. You can leave a message there. And I'm working on now getting a phone, designated just for Sam, because I believe we're going to need it, because I know you all are just dying to help, so so I'm looking forward to that.
Say your email again.
My email is D like David, S like Shelley, Braisley, BRAZLEY @yahoo.com. Now we probably should build out an email address for that organization too. I'll sit with the administration for ENY3 and make sure that we have those things in place, and that it makes more sense.
Okay. And yeah, I produce my own. It's so amazing. Like this pandemic, I mean, we've suffered so much devastation, but at the same time, if you took advantage of the moment, it put you in a position that if you were going to do anything, you had to do it yourself, because you can't go out and do anything. Right. So this platform is like if you ever want to do anything, it's so easy, it's so amazing, and you produce your own everything, and so there you have it. Eastern New York 3rd Social Action Ministry Facebook page. You can go there and you can inbox her, and that's her email. And so this is going to be up on social media, so people can go and they're gonna watch the replay. That's how this thing works. So people just come back and watch, and so she needs a team. And so I guess you can email her if you're interested in helping out in any way, whether it's education, finance.
Right. I mean, there's so many tentacles to this ministry, right? And we need everybody. We need all ages. We need to know how to appeal, my generation, I gotta have that, but there are some senior to me, and we have to broach it differently. And especially those younger than me, we definitely have to broach that differently. So right. I need everybody, to help in whatever capacity. If you write, if you're able to make phone calls, if you're able to make refreshments for our meetings, because I believe that it's so huge, we're going to need that. There's every area imaginable. So
okay, so there you have it. So I'm looking forward So we got to start getting ready for March, and training, and I am ready. We are
Yeah.
ready. And we're going to recruit people. We're going to figure out some type of recruiting platform, even if it's digital, even if we invite people on Zoom, if they're interested in being a part in a meet and greet with the commissioner. So thank you for coming on, and she will be popping on frequently because there's so much going on, and I don't know everything. So she's like a mentor. She just educates me. So and I do this every Monday night at 8 p.m. So I create a platform for the public. If there's anything that they need to know, I come on for like 15 minutes, and it's like I blog.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is to make money off blogging. So I just have to keep on going, and hopefully one day I'll
Okay, money cometh.
Yes. Okay, so I love you, and I will be touching base. We'll be waiting to hear our new president being announced, and you may hear from us again.
And be safe, people. Love you so much. Be safe. Just
Yes.
be mindful of your surroundings.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Be mindful of your surroundings. So I am a United States Army veteran. So, and I'm a New York State chaplain. And so I have a pistol permit. I have a legal permit. And it's actually my permit is actually under my business. Yeah, I have a full carry. And I actually just took their class, and it's really not hard. And that's what I think our people have never, well, I guess the knowledge is maybe we just didn't know. But because I was in the military, I'm a veteran, I know certain things. And I actually took a class to where I now have I'm legally able to carry in 35 states. They have all of these classes that you can take to become a carrier legally. And so now I can legally carry in 35 states. You only need a pistol permit to carry a concealed weapon. You do not, and that's the thing that I don't think people realize. You don't need a permit for a rifle or one of those the shotguns. You can go right into a store and just buy one. They're just gonna do a background check, and they'll sell it to you.
Right.
So you only need a permit for the concealed, but anything else, those big firearms, yeah, you can just go buy them, and that's why people just going and buying them, because you don't have to have a license, just for the small weapons. But I am trained. I am trained how to shoot and all that stuff. So it ain't like I'm just walking around willy-nilly,
Yeah. But we need to be trained, and we need to, if nothing else, we need the information. You
Yes.
We need to know what these guns are, what the difference is, what they're used for. Now, that may be a booklet that Sam needs to produce, so that we can distribute that information. You know what I mean? What's legal and what's not legal, what needs to be done, where the ranges are, and how do you learn how to shoot so you can be safe.
I even still go to the range with my police officer friends, and I like shoot their weapons at the range, because you have to still practice, so you can, everything you still need to practice, or you'll get rusty or whatever. So yeah, they have indoor ranges, they have outdoor ranges. It's really, it's almost like a whole nother world. So really,
it is a whole nother world, because we've totally removed ourselves from it. We don't, and I'm speaking from my heart, I mean, I don't know anything. And my daughter lives in Alabama, and when that unrest and they were turning over the monuments and stuff, I called Makeda. Oh my God, are you okay? Yeah, Ma, I'm fine. But I'm packing. I know how to. What? Like my child. So I mean, but it's a reality of where, I guess, depending on where you live, she's not in. She's in Alabama. So she felt like she needed that to protect herself. So we need, we just need information.
And then you have the states like Florida where you don't even have to hide it.
Right.
You can just walk around in Florida with it out, and everybody got it out.
Right.
So it's no big deal in that state. And I got, each state is different. But I take a lot of classes, and so that's how I learned. You know, it is interesting because when I do go into a gun shop, you don't see many Black women
No,
with
you don't.
full carry permits coming in. Everybody's like not Black, but it's amazing because they're very inviting. That world is very inviting. And you can learn a lot when you go into it legally the right way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have illegal weapons.
Yeah, but we don't. Right, right. We want to empower people
Right. Yeah.
with the proper information,
Yes.
and you know, and a lot of us won't be running out to get anything, but at least we'll have the information.
Right. At least get some pepper spray though. I mean to you can get pepper spray. That's not. I encourage women to get pepper spray. I do. It's not. You can go right and buy it at the store. You don't need a permit. But no, it is. Even like for women, protecting yourself. You know, like you said, be aware of your surroundings. Sex trafficking is real. Human trafficking is real.
Right.
So you got to really be aware of your surroundings, and so don't go anywhere by yourself. And this time, I tell my young females and males, don't go nowhere by yourself right now. You know, make sure you have somebody with you. So it's so much to cover, like you said.
Right.
So okay, so we're just gonna go back to I guess waiting for CNN or whoever you watch to give us this information on how much longer do you think we gotta wait? You think they'll have it, but they think they'll have it by tomorrow. All the votes counted. You don't think so?
Because like I said, the laws are different in different places.
Okay.
In the state of New York, you have to hold the ballots for 7 days before you can count them. You know, because they want to make sure. They're now looking at all those names and comparing them to the books of everybody that voted. Okay. Those people that had absent, because some people sent their absentee ballots in and still voted.
Right.
You know,
right.
So
right.
We have to let the process work so that it's fair and just.
Okay.
And one person, one vote.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the laws in New York are set up to make sure.
Right.
That we're doing these things properly,
right?
You know, and so now they like I said, they open that outer envelope. The inner envelope has a scanning bar on it.
Okay,
they're scanning those things to make sure this person didn't already vote.
Right. Okay.
You know, so it is a process.
But other states aren't like that. Other states don't do the same thing that New York does.
I'm not familiar, but I do know that each state is responsible for their own election.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So everybody's not the same. You know, like some people did early voting.
Right.
Some people only had 2 or 3 days of early voting.
Right. And this is our first time. New York has never done early voting before, right?
Last year.
They did do early voting last year.
Right. Remember the church did the march from the church to the.
Oh, right. But they never did an early voting for presidential candidate.
No, this is the first time for president.
Okay.
That was a midterm.
Right. Okay.
So, right. So, you know, every state, like I said, they handle things differently. You know, I think in California, they only had 3 days of early voting. It wasn't a lot. But this is the first time where nationwide, you know, they allowed people to send in absentee ballots without, you know, I'm out of town or I'm sick. You know, you have there's standard reasons for doing it, but this covert piece, you know, that's why we have so many of these ballots.
Why do you think people? This would be our last question. Why do you think people are so surprised that the race is so tight? I hear everybody saying that. I'm shocked the race is so tight.
I don't know. I mean, they had to. I think each side thought that they were going to do a landslide. Because the Dems thought that, you know, they thought they just had it in the bag and it was going to be a straight landslide. Okay. So I'm sure the Republicans and you know, the Trump supporters felt the same way.
Okay.
You know? Okay. So they're all, but I think deep down they knew, which is why Trump started with all his propaganda early.
Okay. Right.
To rile up the people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll touch base after the presidency and everyone. for all those online viewers that are going to be coming on later on, here's the information. If you want to join and help in any way, you have any type of we got to get sponsors. We just have so much we have to do in this time. Yes. So God bless you all. Thank you, Commissioner Braisley, for coming on, because I know you're so busy.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And we'll have to create more digital platforms for you to get stuff out to people, because I think people really, really enjoy the information that you give. They really do. I know you might not know it, but they really, really do.
Look, I need you young people like to help me figure it out.
Yeah.
So thank you.
All right. Well, I love you and be blessed. And I'll touch base with you after this election is over.
Okay.
Okay. And welcome everybody. I'll see you guys again next Monday. All right. Okay. Be safe. Good night.